$1.2 million. Essentially kerosene in a match, light it on fire, because that's what I did. In just a few short weeks, my dad's money, friends and family, all their money, all their trust, all their respect and admiration, gone. My name is Jerremy Alexander Newsome. I grew up really poor in the state of Georgia, where I was also indoctrinated into a cult, which is the Jehovah's Witness religion, which I personally believe to be a cult. I definitely knew where the term dirt poor came from, seeing that we actually had literal dirt as our flooring. I still remember the very first time I felt air conditioning. But we didn't know that. We were so happy and so free. And everyone here probably knows, but yeah, I grew up in like the weirdest looking house of all time. It was just a bunch of single wide trailers, you know, essentially stitched together and put into a tree. And it was like a redneck Swiss Family Robinson kind of thing. I never wore shoes, and I still barely do. Freedom, that's what I want to pursue forever. I've always wanted the ability to do anything I wanted at any time, for any reason, on any day, at any place in the world. And there's very, very few professions and mindsets that will allow that. And I'll never forget that Saturday afternoon in 1994 when myself, my oldest brother, and my dad were watching the Academy Award-winning film, Forrest Gump.
He got me invested in some kind of fruit company. And so then I got a call from him saying, we don't have to worry about money no more. And I said, that's good. One less thing.
I saw that he invested into a fruit company and was able to take that money and build schools, homes, churches, hospitals. That was the thing when I was 6. I was like, whoa, you can do all of these amazing things with money. So I wanted to naturally go get as much money as I could. I wanted to do exactly what Forrest Gump did at 6 years old. I begged my dad to invest in Apple. He finally caved in and said, listen, if you bring me some money, I'll match it dollar for dollar. I went and I picked blackberries and I sold them door to door for $1 a bag, made $1,500, and we bought $3,000 worth of Apple in 1994. Those shares I sold at the top of 2000, the top of the tech bubble, when I was 12 years old. And my dad handed me $12,000 as a 12-year-old, and I was hooked ever since. A huge moment for me. I took my 401k money and bought 1,000 shares of First Majestic Silver at $9. And in just a few days, I sold it at $12, making $2,700 in just a few days. And what blew my mind is I was working 50 to 60 hours a week at Nationwide, working my face off to make ends meet. And then realistically in 2 minutes, I made more money than I made in an entire month at my job. I was making money hand over fist for like 4 whole months. And I thought to myself, I'm the greatest stock trader on planet Earth. What an idiot. Naturally, I told all of my friends and family about my progress and all the money I was making, and everyone wanted in. Even my dad gave me his entire retirement fund, $107,316, and I traded that. In a very short period of time after that, I was able to trade with $400,000 of other people's money, turning that into $1.2 million. I had finally made it. I got validation from my dad. All my family loved me. I was king of the world. I felt absolutely unstoppable, unbeatable. I was Superman. I was the richest person on earth. I was impervious. Now, of course, after all, I was still an amateur in the stock market. I was only 20 years old at the time, and I didn't know anything about protecting gains, protecting capital, risk. I knew nothing. So, within a few short weeks, thanks to the silver bubble of 2010, I lost everything. Lost it all. I lost my dad's retirement money. I lost money that my friends and family gave me. And worse than that, I lost everyone's trust, everyone's faith and belief in me. After all this went down, I found myself alone at a bar in Daytona Beach, Florida, drinking $5 pitchers by myself. And it's funny, no matter how broke you are, you always have money for beer. To make it worse, right across the street from my chair, from my bar stool, was the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, which, full circle, made me feel even more like an abysmal failure.
And I got relatively right on the verge of being blackout drunk, and I just called my dad and started crying and just told him I lost all of his money. Because I had to fess up where I lost it all, it's all gone. I'm the biggest failure that you ever had in your life. You're gonna lose all of your love for me as a son. I'm not good enough. You were right. I will never match up to what you believed I could be. All those fears that I think dads and sons might have. Me saying, yeah, you're right. I lost everything. I'm stupid. I'm not good. I'm bad, all that. I had to face that.
That night, I drank $25 worth of cheap beer in Daytona, Florida, and overdrafted my account. I even had to borrow gas money to drive back home. The next day, hungover, sandy, broken, I thought to myself, I never want to feel this way ever again. I don't want anyone else to ever experience this pain ever again for as long as I'm alive. And at the end of the night, I realized that one of two things had to happen. I was either gonna die or I was gonna make this work. But I needed money if I was gonna rebuild. So I eventually found a way to borrow and get a loan of $12,000 from the Korean Mafia. And no joke, I met this guy in a shady parking lot. He had $12,000 in cash in a paper bag, and he opened his jacket and inside was an Uzi or some type of like an automated handgun, and literally said, you have to pay me back or you're dead. And now the proverbial and literal clock was ticking. It was either die or succeed.
And so 7 hours a day, every single day, I back traded the stock market. And I just went day by day and just started trading it. And I started trading the Great Depression, World War I, World War II, Vietnam.
I became absolutely and irrevocably obsessed.
Right, I slept 2 hours between 12 and midnight and 2. Then I would sleep from 6 to 8. And I would take a nap from 1 to 3. Those are the 6 hours I slept every day. And I did that habitually, consecutively, consistently, like a madman for 6 years. That was my schedule.
The reason I had failed, the reason I had lost, is because I didn't have any rules in place at all. I recklessly and emotionally would just get back into trades with no plan, no rules, and no knowledge of when I was going to get out. So during that 6 years, I developed a plan, rules, and a procedure that I forced myself with extreme discipline to stick to. Let's see, so some consequences I had for breaking some plans. Yeah, full body wax. If there's hair on my body, I've waxed it off, including my beard and my head. Eating only an egg diet, and I'm semi-allergic to eggs. Being vegan for a month, being vegetarian for 3 months. Oh. Running until I puked. Giving money to the opposite political party. All kinds of fun things. And that was part of the plan, was to have major, insane, painful consequences so that I could hold myself accountable, which is really how anyone eventually follows any plan or any set of rules or guidelines given to them. And sure enough, I made enough money to pay back all of my debts. The very first repayment I did was the Korean Mafia for $12,000. I was able to pay back $480,000 that I owed to my friends and family. So basically, I was able to pay off all of my debts and had enough money to trade full time. And I want to teach others how to do this too.
For free, education should be free. It shouldn't have a cost to better your brain.
So I started teaching kids stock trading in schools for free.
If we're to talk about a trade or a strategy, what do you think your strategy would be or should be or could be?
It would have changed everything for me to have a money mentor, someone to pour into me and to care about my future. sitting there in a conference, sales, massively boring, total pitch-a-thon, something popped in.
I just sat there and I was like, man, it'd be so crazy if a company existed and they just focused on and talked about how people were real. And they just showed real trades, and they showed real losses, and they were just real. You know, I want people to be real. I don't want Lamborghinis, I don't want martinis and bikinis. I just want someone who has like character and charisma and love and passion. And I want them to talk about trading. Like, I love trading. I want this company to exist. I think it'd be insane if people talked about just like the real aspects of trading. If you had life in there, and you had debt and money and people and freedom and happiness and joy and prosperity. And if there was this company that would just talk about real life trading, I think it'd be insane. I always get emotional and tell that story, because like as soon as I said those words, I was like, that's it. And I pulled up my credit card and I bought that domain name and never looked back.
7 years later, my best friend, Matt DeLong, and myself have built a community of vibrant, happy, loving, philanthropic individuals, a mission, a movement, a community who are real, who are focused on freedom and helping others find it themselves.
So the real life trading community attracts just anyone who really wants to make a life change in their life, and out of that, this abundance where they grow their account and their mindset well enough or big enough to kind of pour into other people and make a difference, and it has this massive networking effect.
We teach anyone who is committed to real change and real impact. Single moms, children, a 7-year-old, a convicted felon. Anyone, anywhere in the world can access and take our courses for free.
Plenty of people who've been following us for years, who've never spent a penny with us, who we hear testimonials from. Hey, you changed my life.
I was a man with no purpose, with no vision for my future, no real hope. Now I'm living a life that I never would have thought possible for myself.
Because of your dream, because of your willingness to enrich lives, I now have a wonderful life that I thoroughly enjoy.
Not only have I become a better trader because of you, but I've become a better husband, I've become a better father. I appreciate my family more than I've ever done in my life.
So people's lives are changing because they're applying the material that we teach, and stock trading is kind of the carrot on the stick where you can make a few extra dollars, but if people can get a little mindset shift and learn that they can make a few dollars, then like, well, that gives me more time. With more time, I can make a difference in my community. If I make a difference in my community, I can inspire others. If I inspire others, my whole network of people can absolutely change.
And I want to impact the world, and I've never had that thought until working closely with you. I've never had that thought to impact the world.
So I'm 46 years old. I've just a few weeks ago completed a half Ironman. Never thought I would do that. You know, I'm writing down and scheduling and working towards my dreams, the things that are really, really important to me that for a few, before I met Jerremy, I had dreams that were buried, you know, underneath a few years of self-doubt, and I don't know, man, I just want to help enrich lives and change the world.
We all trade together, we have stories together, we discuss our wins, we discuss, most importantly, how we can learn from our losses. We share the real journey of this career path of being a full-time trader. And we finally fulfilled the Forrest Gump dream of creating a foundation where companies and individuals donate to that organization, most specifically and permanently to end human trafficking.
Scott's donating $2,000 just because he's a badass.
This last trip to Lake Tahoe, one of the conferences that we had there, and one of my friends was like,
I'll do $10 for every push-up you can do right now.
And then one of my other buddies named Dustin was like,
I'll do 100. You better. You guys are gonna pick push-ups? I mean.
and then Matt over here offered free one-on-one coaching. And then we had a professional fitness trainer who's world-renowned offered an entire 4 months of one-on-one coaching for fitness, all for this charity, all within seconds of each other.
Come on! 60. Let's go. 1, 9, 2.
To me, that is what this whole thing is all about. It's about seeing people have the freedom to not focus on what's in their bank account, but to focus and expand on what's in their heart.
So amazing. This is what an outpouring of love looks like. This is what generosity and abundance feels like. You're gonna donate, you're gonna love, you're gonna give, you're gonna inspire courage. You're gonna help human beings all over the world that you never met with money.
The legacy that I want to leave is that of love.
Love you, buddy.
Love you so much, bro. Happiness, abundance, and enrichment.
What's the difference between you as a person in the last 7 years?
I know what love is now. I know what pure joy feels like. I know what misery feels like. I think that's a massive distinguishing difference from, yeah, I'm 27 and I'm rich, to now I'm 33 and I'm happy. So yeah, I trade stocks, but what I really do is create freedom for others.